Bed. Love.
Bed.
Bed.
Love. Beyond.
Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond. Welcome to Bed, Love, Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater in us to discuss sex, love, relationships, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love like us. I'm Jennifer, and I'm here with
Miss April.
And we have a guest today, guys. This is episode 134, keeping it hot because winter is coming, with special guest Marie-Claire Thauvette. Hey, Marie. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, you said my name perfectly, girlfriend. Great.
I was practicing and I wrote it phonetically. So, Marie is a Canadian relationship coach, certified sex educator with AASECT, which I didn't even know existed. I'm so excited now. Every time, I find other aspects of what I should have done with my social work degree, I get excited. And she is a woman on a mission to teach individuals and couples alike about the power of intimacy and communication. And she's also the author of this awesome book that me and April were reading this week called The Honeymoon Playbook. And it's for newlyweds and also longtime people who have been in relationships. And it teaches couples how to light the romantic fire in their relationship. Marie, I need you.
Yay, I'm here for you.
Things are quite dim over here. So, what can you tell us?
I'm here for you, sweetie. Go, sweeties.
Thank you.
Let's have some fun with this.
April didn't even chime in on that. April was like, "Nah, I'm good." She's.
I have those days. I have a toddler, so.
Oh,
Yeah, so a lot of.
I hear you. Yes, you got to make it count.
Yeah.
For sure. You have little time, right?
Yep. All right, let's get rolling here. So your book, I like the layout. I thought it was very nicely done. The pictures, were these real couples in the pictures?
Yes, they're real couples, and I selected these couples because they have fun together. I really wanted to have a great, fun photo shoot, and they're so beautiful. It just made the book come alive in the photo shoot, and the photographer was amazing because she was telling them what was in the book, and then they just had to act it out, and It was just so exciting and so much fun to see how these couples were having a good time and connecting together and even with each other because we were joking around and just having a ball.
Right.
Really
It looked
great.
like they were, I don't know, looking at the pictures, they looked like they were very comfortable with each other. So I kind of assumed they were actual couples.
Yes, two of them, one of them was engaged at the time and one of them is now engaged.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Very fun. Yeah, one of them is one of our Ottawa cheerleaders.
Oh.
And I didn't even know she was a cheerleader till after I checked her out, and I thought, oh my God, you're so good. She said, well, I'm an Ottawa cheerleader for the Ottawa, our football team. So she was pretty cute. Yeah.
Okay.
They were so much fun. It was really fun to, it was like a party atmosphere. I really highly recommend fun photo shoots like that.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's great.
So, why do you think intimacy is so important, and why did you write the book?
Well, I really wanted to give couples a really good start, and for the couples that have been together for a long time or have just gotten married or are like you, April, is it? I hope I've got the right person.
Yes.
Yes.
You're with the toddler. You really need to make time to make love, to connect. I really wanted to teach couples how to get to know one another. And in the book, I have open-ended questions. So all the way through, it's really about getting to know each other, really getting to know how to pleasure one another, everything from, surprising each other with really fun surprises, and activities, tips and tricks, really romantic things that you can do for one another. Really, I want you to make your heart race again. I want to make new sexual discoveries. It's all about play. It's about really setting your couple on fire again. That's what I wanted for everybody. And while I was writing it, I was closing my eyes and I was picturing couples all over the world trying some of the things that I was writing, and I was getting really excited and really thinking, I know I can make a difference with this book. I really want couples to connect again. And I've been with my husband for 20 years, and we've had plateaus. And, I worked really hard to try to get things exciting again. And he's really open-minded, so I'm really lucky. And we tried a lot of these things that are in the book, and they really work. And my husband said, why don't you write about this? And I was on a podcast a few years ago, and probably about 4 years ago, and this girl, Dr. Karen Conch, says, you should write a book. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to write about all of this. That's pretty well it. Yeah.
So what do you think is the first step of re-sparking this romance?
I think the first step would be to have open conversations. Like, we really, really need to talk more. We really need to really figure out what our partner needs. Like, we need to see, first of all, love languages are really good. I think probably everybody's heard about love languages by now.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about,
Oh, yeah, we've talked about it on the show before. I know my love language. I encourage everyone else to look up theirs.
So it's a really good way for you to know exactly how to love your partner. And with my clients, I often tell them, okay, how can you turn that into sexual play? So really finding out what they like, and then having conversations. And the conversation should never be outside the bedroom. It should never be inside the bedroom. It should be outside the bedroom, because we should never have any kind of negative talk in the bedroom. It's got to be sexy time and a really sensual time when you're in the bedroom, where you're focused on each other. I'll sometimes write little notes to my husband, with little hints as to what I'd like later on. But to have a conversation outside the bedroom is a really good start. And you set it up so that you say to your partner or your spouse, I want to have a little talk about sex with you, or I want to have a talk, I want to have more romance. And on Thursday, book it. On Thursday, I want to make you a nice cocktail, or serve you your favorite bottle of wine, or your favorite tea, or your favorite dinner, whatever it is that will really set the mood for your partner. Or even if they're really super romantic, you can, since it's, we want to warm things up right now, it's because winter is around the corner. We might want to make a fire, or light some candles, and really set the mood so that from the get-go, your hot conversation starter is going to be in a romantic, loving, nurturing kind of setting. What are you going to talk to your partner about? Like, what conversation starters can you have? Well, it depends on what you need. In my book, I have all kinds of examples for conversation starters, so I'll read you some of those, okay?
Okay.
So,
I feel like I should be taking notes.
You can ask, what would be the most enjoyable thing I could do to you during foreplay? So you could ask open-ended questions like this. So what would be the most enjoyable thing I could do during foreplay? Because foreplay is a really important time, because actually some men think that men and women think of foreplay sometimes differently, because a woman, I'll talk about that a little bit later if you'd like. A woman really likes to have her clitoris stimulated. As a matter of fact, that's the main way. 95% of women like to have their clitoris stimulated to have orgasm. And sometimes men think, just I'll give you oral sex and then we'll have intercourse, right?
Right.
So that's the main deal, is clitoral play. I'll expand on that a little bit later. So asking what you'd like to do during foreplay is a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can say, well, I like to be teased a lot. Well, how much teasing do you like? I like to have some sexy music in the background to get us in the mood. There's all kinds of things that you can say. Really give it some thought before you meet your partner for your special time to see exactly what questions you might have. I'll give you some more examples. What would you say our top 3 sexual memories are? So get specific, the time, the place, the activity, and the sex act. So think back. When you think back to really fun times, it's really bringing back to things that are very romantic and very heartwarming, because it's so connecting.
Mm-hmm.
When you look back at what was fun, and if you do those things again, or how would you like to do that, or what would you like to do differently? There's all kinds of questions you can ask in your sexy conversation starter. And you can ask for 3 sexual activities you'd like to try. So, maybe some kind of fantasy you'd like to try. I love talking to couples about fantasy because, I just lay out a whole bunch of fantasies. How would you rate these fantasies? And they would let me know on this, 1 to 5. And then I give them the fantasy cards, and they get to try some of those fantasies that we've talked about in our sessions. So my sessions they're just talk, right? There's no sex going on, because some people out there think that sexual educators.
So people have these conversations in front of you?
Pardon me?
People have these conversations in front of you?
Yes, like all my clients, I meet them on Skype, on Zoom, or in person.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. I get things going again.
I don't even know if my boyfriend would have this conversation with me alone in the room, let alone in front of somebody else. But
well, you know what? I try to make them feel comfortable, so I don't go right to sex.
Right.
Even if that's what they came for, I don't go right to sex. I'll ask them, what did you like about each other when you first met? And, what was the most romantic thing? What made you say yes to when you decided you wanted to get married to each other? I go through I take it easy.
I did see like the work.
Nice warm up.
I did see like the workbook section of your book, like where he fills out something and she fills out something, and I really did enjoy that. I thought some of those questions were like super important.
Yes, it's really important to ask each other open-ended questions. The whole book is about exploring each other, exploring your erogenous zones, exploring like not only in your sexy parts, but also all over your body, because you never know what you can find when you start exploring.
Some of the questions I saw, like even though it's called the Honeymoon Playbook, like some of the questions seems like questions you may ask somebody like when you first start dating. Do you feel like some of those questions could be asked like in the beginning when you first meet someone?
100%. So this book is made for people that are just like I want to be able, virgins, if you're very religious, you might not have ever made love before. Mm-hmm. So this book really starts us off from the beginning. But you could be starting off from the beginning on your third date, right? So I actually believe that you should not be making love to somebody unless you're ready to ask them exactly what you want. You need to teach them what you like. And if you're not comfortable enough to do that, I think it's really time for you to hang out with them more until you feel comfortable to talk to them. Because only 5% of women actually have orgasm at first time hookup sex. And that is really too low. It's 55% of men. But for women, it's way too low. And that means they're always wanting to please. But I think if you start a relationship by asking for pleasure, asking what you want, and sometimes that's hard to do unless you've hung out together for a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you think it's a chance like some of the open-ended questions may make people realize they with the wrong person, which is a good thing, kind of?
That could happen. That could happen. I thought about that. I was writing the book. Some people might say I'm with the wrong person, but you know what? You might also say we're different.
Right.
And when we're different, let's talk more. Let's try to please each other. I might be different too, so let's see if you're willing to please me. Let's see how open you are. Let's see how open you are at communicating. Let's see how open you are at trying something. Because when you're in a successful couple, you're doing things to try to please one another.
Right.
So I'd always recommend trying that. Like if you're saying, oh no, my husband's not like that. Well, give it a try. Set the stage for success. Give it a try. Ask them if they're willing to meet and talk about it and see what they can do, and maybe just do baby steps. Sometimes you can't go right to sex. Sometimes it's I want to massage your feet tonight. Like you start slow. You know your partner more than anybody else, and if you just do baby steps, it's usually safer. And all over the book I talk about teasing. If you tease, it's usually safer. And the person can always say no, or you look at their body language, and you especially look at their breath. If they're breathing shallow, it means they're nervous. Like if they're breathing up in the chest, higher up. If they're breathing usually lower, they're usually not as nervous and they're into it. I know it's hard to check all that out, but look at their facial expressions and try to see what they like, or just come right out and ask, how does this feel? How does this feel, honey? And when you're talking in the bedroom, really use your sexiest voice ever. The sounds that you make in the bedroom can truly turn your partner on. It's really important to be able to use a sexy voice. And outside the bedroom, when you're asking these open-ended questions, you're asking in a super positive way, and you make sure the person's not hungry, tired, or stressed. That won't be a good time to talk. So check in with them before you ask them these open-ended questions. How are you feeling, hun? Is this a good time? You know, that kind of thing. And maybe have a little bit of fun before to put them in the mood.
I thought some of the questions were also good questions because the open-ended ones, because sometimes people don't know the questions to ask to get to know somebody. They just know like kind of generic yes or no questions. So
Yeah,
sometimes like you
exactly.
could be on a date and asking open-ended questions is important to kind of, see a compatibility.
Exactly. And Gottmans are like their number one therapist out there today. A lot of therapists, counselors know about the Gottmans and their work. And what they say is ask open-ended questions. Don't ever ask a yes or no because you're going to get just yes or no.
Right.
You want to really dig deep and see what your partner really loves, see what they need, see if this is too far, if this is too close, this is too fast, what's the rhythm like, and you're just paying attention to them. And what lover doesn't like that? We love that, right?
Of course. So you said you were going to read us some of the questions or the answers that were given to some of the questions?
Oh, no, I was going to read out just some of the questions.
Okay,
But
so those are the questions you
read
read.
more questions if you want. I actually have 7 different kissing quiz in the book.
Yeah, I was trying to look for that. I wanted to see that. I was like, oh.
Yeah, so kissing is really an important, a relationship isn't going well when kissing falls off the map. When you're not kissing anymore, that's a sign that things aren't romantic anymore. So, 90% of us remember our first kiss. That's really a big percentage. That's how important kissing is to people. We always remember, most of the time, remember our first kiss. So, bringing the kiss back and just saying maybe, on Thursday night, we're going to have a kissing experiment together. So you can ask some questions. I have a kissing quiz in the book, and you could do the kissing quiz together, and then you could do an exploration time for your date night and ask each other some of these questions, like, do I enjoy playfulness, humor to intimate interactions? Like, do I enjoy that? Do I enjoy including food into kissing, like sharing fruit, whipped cream, chocolate? Do you enjoy that kind of thing? And you can score. Do I like to maintain eye contact while we're kissing? Do I like to have my lips touched before being kissed? Do you like to have your hands on my body before being kissed? You can ask, do I like to have my lips or my tongue sucked or nibbled? That'll tell you more about how you like to make love, actually. The way you kiss is actually a barometer of your lovemaking style. So when a person kisses you for the first time, your body's actually checking out how this person would be like as a lover. Are they just giving you a little peck? Are they giving you like a slobbery, messy kiss? Those are all really important things to
Nobody likes
explore when you
those.
first meet somebody. Sorry, what was that?
No, I said nobody likes those. The slobbery,
Nobody
wet
likes those.
kisses.
Exactly. Nobody likes those. So you can ask, do you like to be teased? What kind of kiss do you like? What variations would you like to try? You can ask after you have your kissing session, how did you feel about it? Do you like better do you like better receiving, or do you like better giving? There's questions that I ask at the end too, out of all these activities, so that you can report back and you can also score. You can score all the kisses.
Go ahead. One I'd really like to say that I saw that you have like a sexy playlist, and I love that you have Pony by Genuine on there, because that was the staple of my college adventures. So it was definitely a good choice.
Thank you. That very first one, that song, the very first one on the playlist, it's a very, very sexy song. She's actually having an orgasm during that song.
Oh my, yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that.
You do have to listen to that. That's a really, really good one.
I'm going to Google it after this.
It's a French song. I'm a French teacher, right? I used to teach sex ed in the 80s to grade 7s. Anyways, that playlist, that first one, that will totally get you in the mood. It's called Je t'aime, moi non plus, by Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin. So, Je t'aime, moi non plus. So that means I love you, Me neither. By Serge, Serge Gainsbourg, Gainsbourg, and you could get it on a lot of the playlists that are out there.
I'm definitely gonna listen to that one.
To get, yeah, exactly. So I think I did a pretty good job selecting those because I asked a group of 16,000 women to give me suggestions.
Oh, okay.
And I listened to their suggestions and I picked my favorite ones.
Gotcha.
They're very, very sexy. They'll get you in the mood. And they'll get you in the mood also. I would suggest finding some kind of spa music to start off, maybe if you're massaging. I have a essential massage section in the book, and you can maybe do some spa-like music.
Oh yeah, I saw something about coconut oil. I was like, what? I guess you suggested using coconut oil?
Yes, I love using coconut oil. It smells good. It's antibacterial. It's just the perfect oil to make love, and it's so easy. Get some extra virgin coconut oil. You can get it by a ton at Costco. I do have to warn you though that if you're using a condom, it doesn't, it jeopardizes the quality of the condom, and chances are it will break.
Yes,
there's a high chance that the condom can break, or it can, you could get pregnant. So don't use coconut oil. Do a water-based lube. I talk about that in the book. There's a section on lube in the book on what kind of lubes to use. So water-based lube is the best thing.
April and I just went to a sex expo. There was like all thousands of different kinds of lube there. I never realized there was so many different kinds.
Yeah, be very careful the type of lubes you use, because if you use anything with sugar, that could jeopardize the pH. So the pH could get out of balance if you use any kind of sugary kind of the most natural lube out there, and you'll be safe. You'll be safe if you use something organic or natural, because you're opening yourself all up, right? It's that lube is going inside your body, and same thing with sex toys. Really, you have to make sure that you don't have any sex toys that have like phthalates, because that can mimic actually cancer. So you have to be very careful. It can increase your estrogen levels. They're called phytoestrogens. And if you use those sex toys that disintegrate really easily, that's when it's dangerous. So make sure you buy good quality sex toys. Interesting.
Did not know that.
Yeah, sex toys are fun. I like to use sex toys as a theme night. Like I do... I ask my couples to do theme nights. Like, why not have theme nights? Like, why not have nights where you could, dress up? Another night, watch porn together, but really watch good quality porn that women would love.
Not the bad
really
stuff.
Show a porn where a woman's clitoris is being stimulated. It's not just about jumping, bang, bang. It's the same formula all the time. For so much of the porn is the same formula. And it's really disappointing for women to not have their clitoris stimulated and to have that part ignored. Because that is most of the time how she'll have an orgasm, only 5% of the time.
Well, I hope a lot of men buy your book, because I feel like a lot of men don't know that.
Yes, exactly. I talk about pleasure anatomy in the book. And I actually have a picture of a penis and a vulva. Did you see that?
I did. I just got to that, actually. I was scrolling through, and I was like, oh, penis, vagina, right?
I drew that penis and that vulva myself.
You did?
I did. I couldn't get an artist to do it right, so I actually hired somebody to teach me how to draw a penis and a vulva. I am an artist now but I can only draw a vulva and a penis. And when I'm in my courses... And when I teach workshops, I can go on the board and draw a good penis and a good vulva now.
That is an amazing story. And it's a really good picture.
Yeah, thank you.
And you didn't have to pay an artist, so that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Did you want me to talk to you a little bit about these sexy parts that we have and how we need to focus, what we need to focus on?
Sure, go for it.
In the book.
Sure.
So I talk about, the forgotten plays and... remembering, I'll talk about the vulva first. So the vulva is the whole thing, right? It's the clitoris, it's the legs, it's the vagina, it's the whole thing. And some people call the whole thing a vagina, so that's false. We need to call the whole thing a vulva, and the vagina is where the penis goes. So that's clear. And then we have the inner and outer lips. and they are the majora and the minora, and they need attention and they need teasing. Underneath them are clitoral legs. So you can see where the clitoris ball is there, the clitoris bulb. Can you see where that is? So
I did not know they had legs.
Underneath the hand, can you see the fingers that are there?
Yes.
Underneath those fingers are clitoris legs. So when you're stimulating the inner lips, when you're stimulating the outer lips to start off with, you're teasing the bulb and the legs. That's an extension of the clitoris. Because sometimes the clitoris doesn't take direct stimulation. Sometimes just stimulating the outside, the legs and the bulbs underneath.
It's on page 112, April.
That will be enough stimulation. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was telling April it was on page 112. We're following along with your lecture here.
Fun. Okay. So so it's important to tease the outside and to go really slowly and warm her up. And the clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings. So that's a lot of nerve endings. So sometimes you can't go directly on it. Sometimes you need to go on the outside. And you can tell your woman, I'm going to just play with your clitoris tonight. I'm going to just play with your vulva, not your clitoris, because you don't want to go right to the clitoris right away. I want to have a vulva exploration night tonight for you. Put that note under her laptop. When she opens it up at work, she'll say, woo, that's totally getting things hot for your couple, I'll tell you. So you can start by stimulating the outside and go really slowly. I give a lot of directions on how to do that in the book. And then explore with different ways. The actual clitoris is actually a mini penis. Did you guys know that?
I did know that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yay! You guys rock. So the way that you pleasure a penis, you go up and down, right? You can do the same thing with your fingers. Between your thumb and your index finger, you can go up and down with the clitoris, on the hood. So you're just doing the same thing that you could be doing on a penis, because that can feel really good. You can play on the right side. You can play on the left side of it. You can tease around it. So that's a lot of fun. I don't talk too much about the G-spot in the book. I usually do that kind of work in person. That's probably going to be for my next book. But, those are a few little tips for the vulva. Do you want to talk about the penis now?
Sure, why not? Let's even the playing field. Yep, go for it.
So the penis is, you can also tell your partner, your husband, I want to have penis night. I want to totally see what your penis loves. So you can try different strokes that he might like. Try different things. You try some of the really play with the different parts of his penis and see what he loves to try to explore. And so let's just talk a little bit about exploring the penis. So you can start with, you can lightly pleasure his testicles, put his scrotum in your hand and lightly play with his testicles and, see how he likes that, and like massage around his penis. Don't go right for the penis. The same thing as the clitoris, go around it. And tease. It's really, really important to tease and not go right for it. And so that night where you're exploring, you're checking out the shaft, you can say, how do you like to be touched? Like, how do you like it slow? Do you like it fast? You can even ask him to show you. I want to see you do it. Come on, I want to see you do it. Try. I want to watch you. Like, coax them to do it. Sometimes you're a little bit shy about showing your partner. But in that vulnerability, you can actually get closer. You can ask them to try to show you, right? Show you. And they're shy, but when they do it, after that, you've crossed over into something that's maybe a little bit private. But since you're showing your private thing to your partner, it makes you even closer as a couple. So you can ask them, let me see what you're doing. And then you could observe it, you could try it, and you could say, let me try, right? You can explore with different ways. And you can say, I want to try after you've done it. You can explore more. You could say, can we try some different things? So I've got some different kind of strokes in the book. And exactly how you can play with that, with the testicles, and how to play with the glands. And can you see the frenulum? The frenulum is just underneath the glands, at the top of the shaft. And you got, the way that I remembered this when I was in school was you've got to fret the frenulum. So it's nerve endings that are exactly where where circumcision is, and there's a lot of nerve endings right there. So you can play a lot with that area. Super fun. So have a tickle his pickle night.
Tickle his pickle.
And
All right.
Play around with him.
I also liked all the games that you had, and I thought your book was like very thorough because you put like everything straight up to like a packing list, like what to pack if you're going away for like a sexy vacation. I was like, this book has pretty much everything that you need to figure it all out.
It's got lots for anybody who's taking any kind of vacation. Like if you're going on your honeymoon, it needs to be a special vacation. It's got to be the best vacation that you've ever had. And if you think back at your honeymoon and you think, I don't know, it could have been better, then ask for a second honeymoon or a third honeymoon or a fourth honeymoon. Like ask for more good times, right? And I've got really sexy things on that packing list that you might not normally have had in your first honeymoon. So why not go back and try it again and make it super fun? I've got honeymoon surprises at the beginning of the book where you can do a surprise every single day for your partner. I've got suggestions there. And the packing list includes stuff like, sex toys. Yeah, bring some sex toys. Go ahead. Shop for yourself. We're so busy planning our weddings, we can't forget to plan for our honeymoon. So I've got everything is included in this book for a really great honeymoon or a really awesome trip for you to take off and reconnect as a couple again, if that's what your couple needs, for sure.
Very awesome. So what else do you do, Marie, besides writing this book? What do you do?
Lately, I've been doing a lot of Gottman's testing. So Gottman's, like I said earlier, it's a really good way to find out what's really not going well in your couple. Like if you're a couple that you're just living parallel lives, you don't feel like you're finding time for each other. When you talk to each other, you sometimes have harsh starts. Like you start off angry, or sometimes you're critical of your partner. Sometimes you're in defense mode. There's all these ways that we communicate to our partner, and sometimes it doesn't feel good. Mm-hmm. So I do some testing to see exactly what you need to work on. How are you together? Like, how are you planning? How are you sexually? How are you romantically? There's so many tests, so many questions that we ask the couple. They answer these questions, and I really honestly get to know exactly what's not working in their couple. And I give them a handout, and I discuss, and I ask them, how could you make this part work? And we develop communication strategies to make it better. And this is not long term. What I do with couples when I work on Gottman's is I help set them up forever. And we meet like probably from 6 to 10 hours. Usually it's
in total
10 hours. And then we meet again in 6 months, and then next year, and then a few years down the road, just to make sure you're still on track. But the whole idea is for you to be independent and not keep going to therapy, because this really works. They've had this love lab where they experimented with couples, and this is almost 40 years ago that they did this. And they tested these couples to see if they stayed married or not, and they developed all kinds of strategies on how to keep a marriage together. They know how to predict whether they're successful or not by, like, if a couple's not paying attention to each other, they call them bids for attention. If your partner, you're talking to them and they're ignoring you, that's a really bad sign. So Gottman's said that's one of the, that's a strike against you because you really need to pay attention when your partner's talking to you, and you need to turn towards them. And you also need to have positivity in your couple. So you need to have a 5-to-1 ratio of positivity. So I work with couples on how to make things more positive for one another. And, it gives you your best life. It's wonderful.
Awesome.
So I do Gottman's, I do anything sexual, anything with regards to sexuality. I'm starting to write another book. So I am pretty busy, and I'm a grandmother. I have 3 grandchildren. So
congratulations.
And I own a French school. I own a French language school. So remember, I was a French teacher. So I own a French language school, but I'm semi-retired from that school, and it's pretty well running itself thanks to my awesome husband and the awesome team that I have. So I just oversee that, make sure that everything's going well there. But my heart is really to help couples reconnect and for them to love each other again. That's really my main goal.
How did you get into that? Like, how did you decide that that's what you wanted to do?
I've always loved sexuality. I started off my life not too hot. Like I was one of those at me 2 girls. I really needed to develop my own sexuality and find my own way. And I was so determined that I started in my 20s studying everything sexual. And eventually I became a teacher, and I was the sex ed teacher that I was the one that would teach my colleagues, their students sex ed class. And I just loved it. Loved the attention. I loved giving kids the proper attention they needed to learn all things sexual. I loved answering every question they had to throw at me. So that's pretty well how I started way back then. And I went to school, so I went to the Institute of Sexual Education and Enlightenment, and it took me 2 years to get through all of that. And it takes about that long to get 1,000 hours.
Wow.
Because you need 1,000 hours to be a board certified sexual educator from AASECT.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going a little bit further as a couples coach. So I'm diving deeply into Gottman's to learn more about that. So that's pretty well how I got started. And experimenting with my husband, it's always fun.
What when you meet with couples, what would you say is the number one reason, the reason that comes up a lot about why people have issues in the bedroom, or what's the number one sexual issues couples seem to face?
I find that usually the bedroom is a symptom of whatever's going on in their lives. But the number one thing that comes up is varying libido. So one person might want more than the other person. That comes up a lot. Or needing to know how to please each other. Like, how do I please her more? One person might not have as much experience as their partner, and they want to be able to pleasure their partner. When I first started giving workshops, the very first workshop that I gave was a fellatio workshop, how to give oral sex to a man. And it was the hardest workshop. Okay, I thought, close your eyes, MC. See what the hardest workshop you could possibly give. And to me, it was oral sex. Like, that would be the hardest one. I said, okay, MC, go for it. If you can do oral sex, you can do anything. You can teach that. So that's learning how to pleasure your partner is pretty big. It's pretty important. A lot of women go through all of their lives without having great orgasms. Like, they're penetrative sex, and they're not even paying attention to clitoris. So that I find is a shame. And I want to stand on top of every rooftop and yell, hey, everybody, find that clitoris, find that G-spot, and cheer for everybody. Women need to ask for what they want. And what I've noticed in these workshops is that men really want to please them. They want to pleasure their wives, their girlfriends so much. And even men, pleasuring men, like I've had, gay couples, they just want to pleasure their partner so much, but they just need to learn how. And the basic important thing, number one, is always communication. Mm-hmm. And I have props. Like, I have, I wish we were live, because on a screen right now, because I could show you Val, my sexy little girl. She has a French accent when she talks, and she's a puppet. She's a vulva puppet. And when I'm in sessions, I take my vulva puppet out, and I show you exactly how I like to be pleased. And I take her out, and we have some fun, because you have to have fun when you're talking about sex, and you have to, enjoy the process. So I try to make my sessions really fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have a question? Mm-mm. So where could our listeners find you if they want more information, or they want to follow you, or maybe purchase your book and stuff like that?
Okay, so my book is available on Amazon, and you could just look, or you could just go to honeymoonplaybook.com, and you can just click on there, and you can find my book. And it's actually $3.99 right now online, but I think it's really good to have a paper copy. Mm-hmm. But you can get it online. You can read it on your Kindle, which is free, by the way. You can get the Kindle app for free. So you can also find me on relationshipbliss.ca. On Facebook, you can find me on Relationship Bliss Coaching. That's Relationship Bliss. That's the name of my company, Relationship Bliss. So remember, relationship bliss is .ca. That's Canada, right? Because I'm from Canada, we say .ca. You can find me on Twitter at MC Thauvette, which is my name. That's MCTHAU, V as in Victor, ETTE. You can find me on Instagram at the.sex.whisperer, and I like to whisper nice things with my Bella puppet, Bella.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna go back and listen to this, and I should have been writing it down now, but I didn't. But I'm gonna go back and listen to it, make sure that I can add all your social media onto our website as well, so people could just go onto our website at Bella Beyond and figure out where you are, and follow you and see what new fun facts you are coming up with, and sharing with the world. I appreciate the work you do. I think it's a needed function in life. Men and women alike sometimes are clueless about sex, and a lot of people don't talk about it as much as they should. So, someone's talking about it, and that's you, and that's good, because then we'll get everybody else talking about it.
Thank you. I hope so. Thanks a lot, ladies. It was fun talking to you.
It was really great having you, and I appreciate you taking your time out tonight to talk with us.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
All right. So what'd you think, April?
I thought it was very interesting. I actually like...
is she calling back? Oh, I'm going to have to call her back.
I actually like having candid, upfront, blunt conversations about sex, because I think it's somewhat taboo, I guess the word could be, when it really doesn't need to be. I mean, it's a part of life. It's something couples do, married people do, regular people do. And I just think, I don't know, I think as men and women are so uptight about it, and it just needs to be talked about, and like just be able to relax, and like any normal thing. I don't think people should have to be uptight about sex. So I think it's cool, books like this with questions you can open people up about, and get people to open up about sex and what they want. And I think that's most important thing.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I don't know. She wanted me to call her back, but I'm not sure why. Yeah, I agree with you. I think something that a lot of people don't talk about. I know, like, it's very uncomfortable for me and my boyfriend to talk about it. He gets like kind of weirded out about it. I'm like, this is normal stuff. Mm-hmm. And I know I didn't talk about it with my last boyfriend, and then after we broke up, then like we had all these conversations about it. I was like, we should have these conversations when we were together. So I don't know. I think it is something important to talk about, and I do think that we should talk about it more. But I don't know. Hopefully this book helps, and you guys, I'll put up a link of where we could find it, and we'll check it out. Anything exciting going on with you, April?
No. Same old.
Tonight is the season finale of Married at First Sight.
I can't. What is this? Like, 12 weeks? This show's been on forever.
I'm gonna just DVR and then fast forward through everything.
Like, they have a really long season.
Yeah.
How many episodes? Is it?
Because it's like a bunch of episodes for like when they get married and the honeymoon, and then it's like, I don't know if it's like each week they like drag out the episode, but they're supposed to be together for 8 weeks.
Wow, it's like Insecure has started and finished, and Married at First Sight is still on.
I know.
I'm like, damn. I can't believe that show is still on.
I don't know. I'm going to watch that. Blackish starts tonight. The Connors start tonight, where they kill off Roseanne.
Yeah, I'm not watching it.
I don't know. I want to see how they kill her off. I think they said drug overdose. Or something of that nature. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the topic and took some notes. April, take any notes?
Mental notes.
You gonna have a pickle party later? Let me know how that
I'm
turns
gonna
out.
ask some of those open-ended questions. I'm not gonna plan it either. Just right in the middle of NBA 2K.
April's gonna have them like on her phone. She'll be walking by like scrolling like, John, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Right in the middle of the 2K match.
He'll be like, what?
Do you like your shaft rubbed?
As your son starts walking around like, shaft,
I like the shock value of it, so I'm not gonna plan it. I'm not gonna have a planned time for this. I'm just coming right out with it.
As long as you're not in the bedroom, she said.
Yeah, well, she said no negative conversations. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Cause sometimes you'll be laying down and you like turn around like, what did you mean earlier when you said like not a good place to have that conversation. I agree that.
Yeah, my bedroom probably needs to be saged. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure it does. Because sometimes he'll be laying there. I'll be like, are you going to marry me? And be like, eventually, I'm like, I fucking hate you. You're making me angry.
Oh my God.
And he's like, can we have to talk about this now? I'm so tired. I'm like, you're always tired. That's the problem here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm going to buy sage tomorrow. All right, guys. Well, thanks for riding with us. And you can find us at bedlabian@gmail.com. You can also find us at bedlabian at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. April
Gmail.
If you want to write to us and tell us about things that you've done to spice up your relationship, and if you've tried any of this stuff that Marie Thauvette talked about today, Marie-Claire Thauvette, please write to us and tell us how it worked, and we'll put her information up. And April is at Miss April Speaks on Instagram and Twitter, and she is
Gmail.
and she is at, I keep forgetting the name of your blog.
Truth Complex on Facebook.
Truth Complex.
WordPress.
WordPress.
Truth. And they wouldn't let me pick Truth Complex, even though I couldn't search it, but I couldn't have it. So I had to add the A.
Weird.
So a Truth Complex on WordPress, and it's just plain Truth Complex on Facebook.
All right.
And I post blogs there when I get a chance to write them. But it's a little collection there. It's something for you to read there.
Powerful blogs.
Yeah. That's it.
All right. Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.